Ancient Greek astronomy was the study of the universe and natural laws that governed it. Astronomers wanted to find answers to their questions about the universe. The astronomers wanted answers that didn't have to do with their gods. These astronomers relied on observations and mathematics to determine operations of the universe and Earth's place within it. The Greeks were latecomers to astronomy. There were astronomers in India, Mesopotamia, Egypt, China, and elsewhere prior to the Greeks. Although the Greeks were considered late to astronomy, they built off the works of the Babylonians and the Egyptians and managed to make a working model of the universe with natural laws which governed it rather than the supernatural influences. It is also a common misconception that the Earth was found to have a spherical shape only a couple hundred years ago. This is not the case because as early as the 5th century BCE, it shows in the writings of the Greek philosophers that they knew about the spherical shape.
The study of astronomy dates as far back as ancient Mesopotamia, ancient Egypt, and ancient Mesoamerica, but it is the science and discovery of the ancient Greeks that advances the world's understanding of astronomy and truly begins the science of astronomy.
Ancient Greek astronomy is an example of a frontier in history because of all the huge discoveries and inspiration that they provided for others. Astronomy isn't just one thing, it consists of many things having to do with the universe. The Greeks took it seriously and became very advanced in astronomy. They found many natural laws and found many new stars. They were not the first to introduce astronomy to the ancient world, but added on greatly. They had many great discoveries and ideas, but their most famous one was discovering that the planets orbit the sun. The Greeks had ideas which inspired astronomers to think logically. Some of the ideas were wrong, though they still were important to the astronomers. They used mathematical calculations to determine things such as locations of things in the universe.
There were also many notable ancient astronomers, most of which were Greek. For example, Hipparchus, a Greek astronomer and mathematician, is believed by some to be the greatest ancient astronomer of all time because of his discoveries of how far the moon was from the Earth and other things that had to do with solar and lunar eclipses. Some sources say that Aristarchus, a Greek mathematician and astronomer, was the greatest ancient astronomer of all time for his discovery of a heliocentric universe. They both have one thing in common. They broke many frontiers in the field of astronomy.
The Antikythera mechanism was a machine that the ancient Greeks used to predict astronomical positions and eclipses decades in advance. They would also use it to calculate astronomical events that would happen and find out what and when it would happen. It was found in an ancient shipwreck on May 17, 1901, on the Mediterranean Sea. The machine was so advanced that nothing managed to surpass it for over 1,500 years. The handheld device was made 2,100 years ago and predicted astronomical events such as the movement of the planets, lunar and solar eclipse for its ancient Greek users, writes Norma Greedy.
It shows how advanced the Greeks were even though they were late to astronomy. Though the Babylonians could also predict astronomical events such as eclipses, no other civilizations could calculate eclipses decades in advance and predict planetary motion so accurately. The Antikythera mechanism had an instruction manual for the user. It is thought to have been built by the great mathematician Archimedes.
The Greeks were the most advanced civilization in astronomy. In the article, 7 Ancient Cultures and How They Shaped Astronomy by Jason Cook, Cook stated, "If we talk about astronomy, the Greeks definitely first come to mind. They are popularly known as the fathers of ancient astronomy." Pythagoras is another Greek philosopher who is better known for mathematics, but also has contributions in astronomy. He postulated that the Earth is spherical in shape as other celestial bodies are. He came up with this idea when he saw ships disappear past the horizon as they sail. That was one of the first big discoveries in ancient astronomy. This also tells us about other astronomers like Eratosthenes. He has excelled not in the field of astronomy alone, but in the field of geography, mathematics, poetry, and music as well. He is well known for several astronomical breakthroughs. His most important contribution is the calculation of Earth's circumference. The Greeks had many great astronomers, but these two may have been the best and had the biggest discoveries.
The Greeks were famous for their mathematical equations. The calculation shown is known as the only extant work by Aristarchus. It is a calculation which shows the size of the sun and the moon and the distances between them and the earth based on the earth's radius. The calculation was made in the 3rd century BCE.
It started with the apparent size of the sun and the moon in the sky. During a half moon, the angle that the sun and the moon make is very close to a 90-degree angle.
Aristarchus was able to figure this out, and he used this information to find distances and sizes of astronomical objects. Their most famous mathematical calculation was the Antikythera, which calculated positions and movement with the planets and their orbits. Thales was the first known Greek philosopher, scientist, and mathematician. He is credited with 5 theorems of elementary geometry. Thales is recognized for the use of mythology to explain the universe and natural laws.
Astronomy has been studied since 1000 BCE, over 200 years before the Greeks even existed. Though, even with this, the Greeks managed to take astronomy farther than any other ancient civilization. They made many discoveries which are common knowledge today. It shows how advanced the Greeks were in astronomy, making them the most advanced ancient astronomers in the ancient world.